guys, welcome back to the channel. Right, this video is actually to reply a comment. Someone said how to combine Msnr and CRT, right? And I think it was inspire me. I think at inspire me, that's the person who commented that. So on this video, just to reply the comments. So first of all, how do we combine Msnr and CRT? Now we combine these two concepts by using Msnr as the key level where we want market to get into, and CRT as a bias, the bias as direction or confirmation for us, right? So now to find MSNR levels, we have two levels. We have OCL level and the line chart levels, and today we are going to be using OCL level, right? So OCL level is simply the open and close of a candle, right? And today we are going to be using OCL. So let me mark out my OCL level. So this is my OCL level. This is it. Let me mark it out. So this is the open of a candle. This is the OCL level. Now I'm going to be looking for my liquidity, and my liquidity is here. And now CRT, we're going to spot in CRT. Now market tapped in the first time, but the first time I wasn't concentrated because I was looking for CRT formation. So here goes my CRT formation. This is the high of my CRT formation and the low of the CRT formation. And I told you guys, CRT, all we want to do is just market sweep one end of a candle and respect the market to go towards the other end. So sweep the low and we're looking for it to sweep the highs, which eventually did. Right now, I told you guys yesterday that there are two ways that you can trade CRT. You just take the whole move, or you trade it into bits like I always do, right? So the first trade we had here was this setup. Now the person talked about combining SMNR and CRT, but for me, I think SMC is also very important, because without SMC, you can't take trades. I don't know if there's any other trade entry models, but what I know of is SMC. I'm just marking the low and the highs of my candles here. So on this weekly CRT, we're able to catch three moves here. That's the first one that I've marked out, and the second one, and the third one. Now you could have caught the whole move by just doing time frame alignment by taking a trade from the 4-hour, or you could have done like me, where I went to the daily time frame, did time frame alignment, and take trades from 1 hour. So let's do the trade breakdowns. Now to look for trade on like this, so this is the low of the candle and high the candle, so sweep the low. Now we're looking for SMC structure, right? So if you want to get an SMC structure, you can just follow my Telegram account, right, where you get the SMC structure right here. Okay, so here are some trades that I'm currently on: USD JPY and AUD USD. So you can just go to my Telegram channel, is in my YouTube bio, right? So you can go watch it out. So for buy, we're looking for break of structure and a sweep. So let's see if you can find it though. Okay, so we can see there's a little bit of choppy movement, but we're gonna be scaling it down. So we saw a break of structure to the upside. Market broke this high, right? This is right here, and we expect market to come and sweep the low of that move that broke the high, which is this. Expected to break this high, sweep this low. So now we are now looking for POY. That is our point of interest, where we want to take the trade from, and This was my POI. And this was my inducement or liquidity. So we just place a buy limit on our POI. On this trade, I was using a 5 pips stop loss. I want to get it exactly correct. Okay, so this is 5 pips, and now we target the high of the CRT. This was a news day. I think NFP, yeah, it was the first Friday of the month, so it was NFP. NFP came out, which helped us a lot, and this was, I think, a 1:9 risk to reward. Yeah, right. So this was the first trade we had following this CRT concept. So we're going to going back to the daily time frame to look for more CRT setups using that same daily analysis. Okay, so this was the first one. So the second one was here. Right, and let me also mark the third one out too as well, so that we're just going to be doing the analysis. We wouldn't have to come back to the daily time frame to mark the highs and lows out. So now, one thing I also want you to know is, even though we have weekly perspective, I still look for daily SMR levels that market could form from. So this was one of them. So market formed on this one here, tapped in and pushed up. So let's go ahead and do the time frame alignment of this one here. Right, so this one, the key level was here. So this was the key level for this one, but there was no CRT formation for this candle, but because it was still following the move, I decided to take it. So now let's continue with the rest. Okay, so 1 hour time frame for entry. So if you find a CRT on the weekly time frame, you take entry from 4 hour. Daily, you take entry from 1 hour. 4 hour, you take entry from 15 minutes. 1 hour, you take entry from 5 minutes. 15 minutes, you take entry from 1 minute. But I don't go less than 4 hour. That's just by the way. So for buys, we are looking for break of structure and a sweep. Okay, that's all we are looking for. So let's mark our break of structure. This is our break of structure, and we are looking for market to sweep the low that caused that break of structure, which is this low. We can use this low actually, but because this movement is all part of that move, we are going to be rather be using this low as the sweep here. So now we'll look for our POI and our entry here. So now this was our POI, right? Let me mark it out. And no inducement was formed. Here there was actually inducement that was formed, but that was on the lower time frame. I think on the 5 minutes I saw a little inducement, so I decided to actually take the trade, by the way. 5 pips as usual. My normal stop loss is 5 pips. My normal stop loss is 5 pips, by the way. And we targeted the high, which was like a 6 to 6.7 ish there. So that's how that trade went. And the third trade here, right? So unfortunately, the third trade we had no entry because we didn't see any structure, right? So we didn't take any third trade, right? But there was a CRT formation, by the way. That's just the point I'm trying to make, right? So yes, so I hope this video really answered your question on how to combine CRT, MSNR, and CRT. So simply what the whole video said was we use the MSNR as a key level where we expect markets to get into, and CRT as our direction or confirmation or bias, right? So if you have any question at all like this person had, all you have to do is just comment and I'll do a video to give you your answer, right? And also, if you want to be catching trades like this, I'm going to be leaving my Telegram group here, which is in the bio. All you have to do is just subscribe to it and you'll be catching all these trades. And also, by the way, I don't do any investment and I'm not selling any course currently, right? So please, anybody who says you have to pay to join the Telegram channel or I'm selling a course, please, it's not me.